Folks, welcome to your week. It's an all-new episode of So Bad It's Good. I'm pretty tired right now. I just got back from Vegas about an hour and a half ago celebrating my birthday, another year around the sun. I can't believe I made it this far. So to celebrate, we are doing what we normally do on Monday, and that's talking about a bunch of pop culture things and whatever's happening in our lives. And we have the co-host of the hit podcast Snarkbait, which you need to go subscribe to and rate 5 stars, the one, the only Sophie Ross Brooks.
Hi, birthday boy. So you had a great weekend?
I did. I will say though, it's classic getting older was that I felt like a kid on Christmas evening where the day before we left for Vegas, I couldn't fall asleep. I get anxious and I can't, and I take the melatonin and I should get something stronger, but then you're just up there like worried about not falling asleep. So I ended up getting like 4.5, 5 hours of sleep, which isn't a lot for, it's like, then you have to go the whole day and then you're bummed out. That's the only old man problem. But other than that, I got to see Dead and Company 2 nights in a row. Amazing.
How were they? Was John Mayer amazing?
This John Mayer, I got to tell you, no, like, listen, Bob Weir, hats off. I mean, still an amazing dude, and he looks like a sea captain now. He's got this big white beard, and his voice is so gravelly. But then the rest of the band, obviously amazing. But John Mayer, I hate this man's talent so much. I mean, this guy, whatever you think about his dating history, which we could go do like 3 episodes about in terms of like the Jessica Simpson of it all, when this dude like just gets lost in some sort of rhythm or groove, I would love to be able to play an instrument like that. And it's too late for me. Yeah. But like, do you have any kind of musical instrument? Did you play a musical instrument growing up?
No, I didn't. But I will say I am really good at being John Mayer's sexual napalm.
Yeah, by the way, Sophie brings up something that I think we all know. He did like a disastrous Playboy interview like close to 20 years ago, I think now, where he called Jessica Simpson their sexual chemistry, that Jessica Simpson was like sexual napalm.
And he also said his dick was like white supremacist because he only hooked up with white women.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he also used a racial slur, but said it was okay because he's friends with black people. So it was a disastrous interview. And I will say, having pushed that decades aside and hopefully learning, it's still just like this dude is so touched by some sort of higher power. It's insane.
He is. And yeah, I mean, like his entire discography, like for decades now. Just incredible.
I never listened to his entire discography until like until a couple years ago. I would make these long road trips back and forth to see Mom, and I just started doing these things where I would just burn through an entire catalog of like an artist that I had never listened to. And John Mayer, I had heard all the hit songs, but I went through his entire catalog front to back. But I will say that's like, I never used to be a jam band guy at all. In fact, I made fun of jam band people. But I will say now, like, I think maybe it's just getting older too, is that it is so cool. Like they really do take you on a journey, and sometimes like they lose the thread and then they come back together as a team. It's really amazing to watch that kind of thing work and like geek out, and everybody's always super happy at those shows. So hats off. If you get a chance, go see Dead and Company at the Sphere. I don't think you need my help. So
yeah, and also if you ever have a chance to see John Mayer just solo, like
I would see John Mayer solo.
In 2022, I went to see him at Madison Square Garden, and someone in his band, like his drummer or something, got COVID, so he ended up doing the entire show.
Oh, I remember that.
And it ended up being in one of my favorite songs is a purely acoustic song that he's never recorded like in a studio. He just performs it live. It's called In Your Atmosphere. And the fact that I got to see that live, I will just like, it was unforgettable. And I know I don't know anything about music. And I think that Bob Dylan and who's the other one?
What? Who's the other genius?
I thought that Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen were the same person for a really long time.
Oh my God. So that's sacrilegious in so many ways.
I'm so sorry.
No, John Mayer's an interesting thing though, because like it's like, dude, he's best friends with Andy Cohen, so he's got that Bravo connection, but then he's got this deep musical connection that almost people would write off because of certain aspects of his solo career. And then I thought it was such a brilliant thing, him going with like the Dead and Company, because I think it opens himself up to so many new people, but also just highlights how talented this guy really is. And he's really funny on top of that. I will say, like, at Dead shows, they never speak. week. It's not like he's like, hey, here's one from the 60s.
Cracking
like,
jokes.
Yeah, there's nobody talking. It's an overwhelming experience. I highly recommend.
Wait, remember when John Mayer was on Watch What Happens Live being the bartender, and it was Sierra Miller and Andrea, and John Mayer was the bartender, and he asked Andrea, because Andrea Denver, it's because he's a fan of the Denver Nuggets, and he was like, "Did you ever think of doing Andrea Nuggets as your name?"
By the way, Paige DeSorbo was asked about Andrea because she was on Watch What Happens Live this week after Summer House. And she said, I think one of the questions was like, do you regret not choosing Andrea now instead of Craig? And she brushed it off.
She said no. Yeah,
she handled that great. But speaking of Paige DeSorbo, everything's coming up Paige DeSorbo. They hit the New York Times bestsellers chart at like number 2. Remember when Lala couldn't hit the New York Times bestseller chart, and that was an episode in Vanderpump Rules?
And you can pay for it. So the fact that she couldn't even she couldn't even get the dagger symbol, that's how bad it was for her.
Dagger symbols, you guys, if you ever check out the New York Times bestsellers chart, which I don't think a lot of people do, there's like a dagger, which usually means that there have been nefarious ways to get them on the charts, which usually means somebody will buy a large quantity of books and then they'll put the dagger towards it because they can't guarantee those are through Amazon or local bookstores.
Yeah, they got Giggly Squad or How to Giggle. It got number 2 on the advice and how-tos list, and only behind Mel Robbins' Let Them.
Let them. That's what.
Let them.
But Mel Robbins said Giggly Squad. If they want to come for number 1, let them. Let them. But I was curious to kind of pivot to Summer House a little bit because this week, I feel like just Jesse Solomon's toast for me. Not that he's had a good season for me regardless, but this, I think, was primarily an example of everything that women complain about this man is doing. And the fact that, I'm not saying don't be fans of this guy or don't like him. The fandom is so weird that you're going to like him regardless.
And he's a toxic toxic white man on Bravo. People are gonna love him.
By the way, yes, he's in the right place. He's found his home. But come on, this is what every woman complains about, the behavior he's exhibiting. And you know what? Lexi fucking explained it to a T. I was so she nailed every word she said.
Yep. She was like, "You're saying that I have yellow flags. You have red flags, and you're giving me emotional whiplash, and you're saying one thing and you're trying to deflect and blame it on your friends when it's the stuff that you're saying." She really held her, and I was extremely impressed.
He's like, "I can't help what my idiot friends say." This isn't about your friends. This is about how you're making your friends feel. And I just thought, he doesn't have red flags. He has skin, the color of toe skin color. That color flags.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The fact that he keeps then he's pouting and then he's like, "West, I don't understand these women, man. What do they want from me?"
He has flags the color of Jax Taylor's face when you guys did the Valley Band together. And I just want to reiterate that I never liked Jesse. So I just want...
See, by the way, this is classic influencer bullshit what Sophie's pulling right now, because we have a long history, and I'm sure somebody will make some Reddit thread where they've gone through every one of these episodes and pointed out every time Sophie thirsted and lusted over Jesse Solomon. And by the way, I'll do one better. Season 10 of Summer House, I bet Sophie will be back on the Jesse Solomon train.
No, I actually never liked him, and I think it was just you were hearing the wrong information from my stupid friends.
Well, I feel like Jax Taylor. I feel like now it's you're gaslighting me.
I'm the one being gaslit.
You're gaslighting me. No, the Jesse Solomon thing, I think but what scares me is that I want Lexi to be back next season, and I don't know how that really is possible because the girls actually really talked to her this episode, but other than that, it doesn't seem like she's made a lot of strong alliances.
Okay, but Ryan, if we don't bring back Lexi next season, what will the drama, what was the storyline besides Lexi and Jesse this past season? And I've enjoyed watching Summer House, but there has been literally no storylines other than Jesse and Lexi.
But you know what? It's the one show where I always say I'm kind of okay with that. Like I could watch him just try to open that door for a solid 43 minutes.
Yeah, I guess it's fun just to like watch them party, but there needs to be conflict.
No, there does, but that's why I feel like we have this, but it is also kind of one of those things of like, what will we do without Lexi? Dude, you're not telling me there's another 25-year-old they're going to bring in the house and then they'll flip-flop where Wes lusts over this woman and then Wes commits in the first 2 weeks?
I want it to be Lexi, though, because I like Lexi. I like
Lexi. I love Lexi
And
now.
I don't think the girls, the bed bugs, are going to be welcoming to any girl because they just aren't. So, like, it's just that it can't be a revolving door. They get it right. They get the casting wrong most times. When they get it right, I think that Lexi she's good TV, and I think she's good, and I'm rooting for her.
I hope they find a way to keep her. They actually shot the Summer House reunion on Thursday, I believe, and this was wild because the reunion seating chart, I think we have to kind of throw out, like, it's not
Amanda got first chair?
Yeah, it's not a normal housewife seating chart, you guys, where like the two people most in conflict are seated right next to Andy. So the Summer House one, you got to throw that away because this doesn't make a lot of sense. To the left of Andy, you got Paige DeSorbo, and then you have Amanda Batula. On the Amanda Batula side, you have Amanda, Kyle, Lindsay, Jesse, Wes, and then Rule very at the end. And then on Paige's side, you have Sierra, Carl, Lexi, and Gabby. And so Amanda, unless Amanda does something crazy in these next 3 episodes, it doesn't really follow the rule of seating charts where the people in the most conflict would be there.
Did you see she commented on like some Instagram post? She was like, guys, I don't know why I'm first here either. So she's poking fun at it. I think that like with Summer House, it's kind of like,
it's vibes.
It's like a longevity situation where it's like Kyle and Amanda, no matter what, get first chair. It's usually Kyle, but this time it's...
I kind of like that. I mean, I do like it in the sense of Kyle's like, what the fuck? Like, this is my chair. This is...
I know.
And Paige, there is an argument to be had is... I think Paige would definitely come back for a season 10, but obviously she's at that precipice of outgrowing the show. It's in a different way than Ariana Madix, but it is in a similar conversation of you are now past the point of being a Bravo celebrity.
It's such easy money. And Jesse Solomon said that Paige was texting him and being like, I'm so excited. We're all going to be single, like blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like
wait, Sophie, say that to the audience again. What happened? Jesse Solomon
said that Paige was texting him and saying...
Oh, Jesse Solomon, the liar, the person that doesn't understand what's happening in real life.
Take it or leave it. I don't know what he would get out of lying about this, but he did say that Paige texted him, and this was like some interview that he did recently, that Paige was like, I'm so excited we're all going to be single. And it's like such easy money. And I think it's such like good exposure, and it's good for someone who just likes watching themselves on TV, which I think that like I don't think she would walk away from the show.
Because by the way, Paige found out in this week's episode she didn't even come to the Friday shooting because she had a lot of anxiety, which is fine. But like, I bet we could get it to a point where Paige is like, I'll roll in around 5 p.m. on a Saturday. You guys already have the party set up. I'll do my thing where I lay in the bed with my phone. You can kind of shoot around me. I can see a world in which the demands start getting increasingly more intense.
Oh my God. Imagine getting paid that kind of money just to lay in bed on your phone.
Oh,
dream job.
Oh God, because I already do the bed phone thing. Imagine if I was making money on top. Like, Sophie, imagine...
I'm losing money. I'm losing money when I'm just laying in bed on my phone.
So true. Like, it's so true how much money we could be making if we were on Summer House. Like, because by the way, like, is that part of the audition for Summer House? They're like, okay, they ask you a couple questions and they're like, we're just going to get some B-roll footage. Hey, lay on this bed and get on your phone. Let's see what that looks like.
No, because the show actually used to be people going out and being fun. Yeah, well, actually, wait, did you see the TikTok trend that's like, I'm so hungry I could eat niche person that like this person has no idea. It's so funny. And Jesse Solomon did it to Carl and goes, I'm so hungry I could eat a Workus twin. And
poor Carl's not really, I think, very TikTok savvy, so he had no clue what he was
like.
Jesse was like, what? I mean, Carl was like, what's going on? Carl Beast was a little confused. So anyways, the reunion got filmed, but then there was this interesting thing from an Instagram account that I love. CC loves you.
Yeah.
DM'd with Imral after the reunion because
Stop,
Andy
this
Cohen.
made me so fucking sad. This made me so sad.
So Andy Cohen, this guy going out with the boys, the Summer House boys after the reunion, and Wes has his little mustard bottle acting like a phone. Did you notice Wes Wilson does that a lot? He'll take
so
inanimate
crazy. It's that meme of like that woman in the grocery store aisle with like a thing on her head. And it's like, she's so crazy. I love her. It's like, he's so crazy.
Well, CC was DMing with Imral, asking why he wasn't at this Andy Cohen dinner with the boys. And he just said, I left early a few hours before they wrapped, so that's a part of it. And then she wrote part of it, so not all of it. Or, by the way, the way she fishes, like I never am good at fishing like this.
Yeah.
Like if I DM with a Bravo celebrity, you can guarantee I'm usually never asking any information. Like I'll let them tell me, but I don't want to do. Anyways, he goes, I don't know. I'm going to chalk it up to that and move on. It's all good. I'm so glad I did it and got some publicity and a platform for my English school. And that was always my big goal in all of this. It'd be great if PS, it was like, and I got a place to fuck a lot. I got a nice clean bedroom to lay it down a lot over the summer. No, but he says, I don't think he's coming back because it sounds like he's pulled out
Past
as
tense.
a friend.
It sounds like past tense. He's talking about it in the past, but it makes me really sad. And I know that like you're either going to vibe with the group or you're not, but it seems like more often than not, it's the people of color that don't vibe with the group. And it just like makes me sad. Like I feel bad for him. And I think
do you notice how we don't know Gabby? I don't know what's going on in Gabby's life.
Gabby,
I know more about Danielle this season than I do Gabby.
They get these invisible edits. And I think with Imral, it's extra disappointing because he clearly has more to offer than just being like the sex pest. Like he opened the school in Bangladesh, and like why didn't we get to talk about that at all? Like it just sucks that that's the edit that he got. But
we have talked about that in the sense is that that's a heavy lifting for a show to give you all the colors of somebody. I assume that this dude is more than just sex, but I will say it's probably it probably does make you rethink things. And we've talked about this, like, maybe later in the season, once you've like hung out with the cast a lot, then start bringing all the women home, or maybe even save it for your second season. But it is interesting because then somebody like Jesse Solomon, and I saw somebody put this kind of theory out there that maybe it was Lexi that did this. It said, of course he was trying to fight with me because he was jealous of West having camera time for the Sierra situation last season. So he knows anytime he's going to talk about me or hooking up or talking to me about hooking up, the cameras are on him, and Jesse wants cameras on him.
Totally. It's so true. It's so freaking true.
Anyway, so and also this week on Summer House, Carl tells Sierra that he has a crush on her, which I think we all kind of made that like, ugh, I don't know how that's gonna go, buddy. Like, I'm already nervous for Carl, and I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like Sierra's reaction or what she wishes she could just say would be.
Poor Sierra doesn't realize she's like a demigoddess, is my favorite character from Love on the Spectrum would say. And you just touch Sierra and Jesse gets immediately horned up. I would be scared if I would go into that Summer House every week if I was Sierra. Because it's like, which guy is going to be attracted to me this week but not want to have a full-blown relationship?
Exactly. Which guy is going to try to play in your face this week?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So anyways, the Summer House reunion was filmed. We'll get more information on that, I'm sure, as the weeks go by, because I think we have about 4 more episodes left. Big news over the weekend, I guess, if you're a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fan. PK and Doute, they are finally getting a divorce. Doute was the one who filed for divorce, and it was after the 10-year mark, which means she can ask for more spousal support and child support. So that's good. And PK, this was done on the heels of, Page 6 or one of those tabloids, published photos of PK making out with a contestant from The Amazing Race. This dude has a type, and it seems to be people that are on reality shows and people that have like blonde, brownish hair.
Disgusting.
Okay, say you're not married, Sophie. Say you're not married, and it's been a rough year. You go to a New York bar, club, whatever. You have a couple drinks. Then all of a sudden, you meet PK, and it's PK. And he's charming you, saying like, hey, let's call my buddy Mauricio if you want to FaceTime with him. Yeah. Is there ever a world in which you would make out with PK?
No. I would say, where's Mo? I'd be like, bring me Mo. Bring
But he
Limo.
goes, I will FaceTime him right now. How's that? And like
No,
you
I
FaceTime with
literally
Mauricio.
he's not even rich. PK is not even rich.
That's the thing. They have like a whole like lien on their house that they don't even like, there's all this financial issues which I think
Yeah.
they're both going to have to deal with. But also, this just goes to show you with any of these shows, the people that seem to have money issues, they are drawn to these shows and then it makes their money issues worse.
Yeah, because they feel like they have to like posture for the cameras in the audience and like keep up with the Joneses. Is that why you think?
I don't know. Like, I just keep wondering. Like, well, I think part of it's ego. Part of it's like, yeah,
Right.
I should be a celebrity. I was thinking about Dr. Wendy from Real Housewives of Potomac. Here was somebody that's a professor, was on MSNBC all the time as a correspondent. And even on this season of Potomac, she says she quit being the professor job. And I thought, okay, cool. But like, to me, the professor and the MSNBC, to me, that was like, and she could always do that kind of stuff. She has that tool belt kit. That will always be there, but why would you want to be like the Potomac fame of it all? Like, it's like what you want to be Karen Huger? You want to be like, you're already flipping amazing. Like, that's what scares me is when somebody really has a full blown career, but they want to be a superstar.
Yeah, I think they get like addicted to the attention. It's intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's intoxicating. So it makes it more important that you are. That's why I was saying that like Paige, for instance, I don't think would walk away from Summer House because no matter how successful she gets off of Summer House, it's intoxicating to be on TV and get the attention from the Bravo fandom,
Oh my God. You know who I almost hung out with last week and I forgot to tell you, and I almost went out with Luke Gulbranson for a beer.
Newly single Luke Gulbranson? Oh my God,
Well,
how? Why?
Okay. Well, he was in town filming something and he DM'd me. He said, hey, let's grab a drink. And so I gave him my number and we texted on Friday. And then I think he was shooting like over the weekend and then it just didn't end up happening. And I'm not good at like, I was like, oh, but anyways, then I see this weekend, like on Friday on my birthday, like already a great day, but then horrible news that Luke Gulbranson and Tayshia Adams from the Bachelor franchise, they called it quits after 2 years of dating. And I have to tell you, I forgot they were dating.
I didn't. I thought about it a lot. We actually talked about it recently on Snarkbait.
I mean, what did you say about it?
That we said, I think that it was in reference to, because we did a Caitlin Bristow episode. And so
Okay.
Caitlin Bristow pissed off
Yes.
Tayshia by dating Zach Clark, who was her F1 and ex-fiance. So we talked about it in that context, but they were a very beautiful couple. I have always been a Luke apologist. I think that Luke is a nice
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I mean, he was in that final season of Hannah that like it was such a brutal season, and I forgot that he came on because of Sierra, but he's always been a really nice guy.
No, it was the other way around. Sierra came on because of him.
Yeah, sorry, Sierra came, but I was like, oh damn, but I feel bad. I hope I don't know how that broke up. I didn't even realize they were dating, and now I feel bad that I didn't get to see him and find out. But I wouldn't have probably said it here anyways. But anyways,
remember, I don't like you.
Yeah. Suit and tie, hair slicked back. You know who? It's Luke Gulbranson and John Mayer. I would love them on a song together. Can you imagine that?
Oh my God, can you imagine? Just like the pure guitar skill.
Yeah, it would be incredible.
Also, speaking of John Mayer, Snarkbait is doing a Katy Perry episode this week.
I'm glad you brought up Katy Perry because she is in the news stories I wanted to talk about. She kicked off her Lifetimes tour, I think in Mexico City, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what
I
it
love
was?
how it's just called the Lifetimes tour instead of like the Eras tour.
Dude, I will tell you, I watched so many TikToks of footage from this concert. And it looks like somebody who does not fully know the choreography yet. So like they're marking their way through a performance. They're like, okay, I know I have to put my right arm. So it's not like fully connected with the body and the mind yet. So it seemed like, and then it's, Katie's very goofy. She always has been. So there's like a whole theme of it where you're like, I heard her talking about it. She was like, it's like you're playing a video game and you're playing for extra lives. And she's like riding on the back of these like made up animals. I don't know, you guys. It looked... Katy Perry, like I don't feel so bad because I know she's rich, but man, when you get that out of touch and then you have something like the Eras Tour or Beyonce in this day and age, you better work your ass off to make sure that choreography is so down pat that you can't have people on TikTok filming you this poorly.
Yeah, it's very obvious that she doesn't want to be there. Like she seems there's even a video. Did you see the video where she's like sobbing on stage, like she's crying? Like
No.
she does not want to be there, and it's obvious. Like
Wait,
she
wait.
looks
She's crying because you think she's crying because she realizes midway through the performance she wants to go home?
Yes, literally yes. And it just like fucking sucks how much Dr. Luke ruined her career, not only because his name was attached, and this is Katie's fault. Like she's not, she's not a victim in this. She chose to work with Dr. Luke on her should have been her comeback album. What was it called? 1432 or something?
Yeah, 143, I think.
And the main single is like this feminist anthem. It's a woman's world.
Woman's world. Dr. Luke is producing this,
even
though he did weird things to Kesha allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like her own fault, but also like her music sucks now. So it's like not only is like the fact that his name being attached dragging down on the PR side of it, but it also isn't good music. Like let's go back to Teenage Dream. I was obsessed with her.
We said this before, like TGIF, Last Friday Night. I love that song. I love that song.
Oh my God, I used to crash out so hard to that album thinking of you. Ugh.
No, but watching this concert footage, it just like it bummed me out and also made me more impressed with people like Taylor and Beyonce, where even Taylor, who cannot really dance that well, I think we all know that, she's a performer though, man.
Yeah.
She'll if she points, she's pointing with everything she has. If she's swaying to the left, she's fully swaying to the left. But Katie's like marking it like she's a robot, and it just, I hate when somebody that, it's like you could put the effort. Maybe if you did not take that time to go to space, you could have put that effort in rehearsals.
Yeah.
And by the way, it didn't take that long. It wasn't like she was in fucking training for months to go to space. She had to learn how to put a seatbelt on to go to space.
Yeah, but still, like that could have been time that she spent in the studio practicing. Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, you would know what it's like to run a business.
Okay, we dipped into other pop culture for a sec, so now let's go back to Bravo, because I do need Sophie's take on this week's The Valley, because Jax Taylor, he was right. The second episode was worse for him than the first, but I also want to point out, once again, we did this on the Patreon. I went through both of them, but I highly recommend The Valley After Show on Peacock. I think it's on YouTube as well, I'm not sure, but this provides so much more context, and Jax lies so many more times in the after show. But what's great is that they're talking heads with all of the cast, so they keep popping back and forth between groups. And so the rest of the cast just legitimately call out what a liar Jax is, not to his face, but like in their talking heads. And I just find it so interesting. Like that's what would kill me, to go through life, just everybody, like you say things and everybody immediately discounts it. Immediately.
I never called her fat. I would never say that.
No, I love women that look like her tree trunk shape. I love that.
I love fat bitches.
No, that's what I mean. The fact that do you notice how he talks in these weird circles where he'll be in the after show, he's like, listen, Brittany saved my life at the end of the day. At the end of the day, she saved my life. But why she's a fucking horrible person is that she slept with the best friend I ever had, Julian, and I just think, show me one man that would not literally lose their mind. Show me one man. And there's literally all the other men probably wouldn't do that. Maybe Jesse would, but other than that,
and also
nobody.
The fact that Jax has like probably done that to all of them too.
I know, that's what. But see, this is, I've spent so much of my life thinking about Jax. Like I've spent so much of my life and time, and it's so sad. But at the same time, I keep trying to think about it in like trying to figure out like how do I solve, like how do you solve a problem like Jax? Like how do you even hope for somebody? He's obviously making more money than any of us being on this show to begin with. So, and I'm not one of those people that's like fire this person, fire that person. But I will say you better be watching this dude, because I don't even think he understands his emotions enough to be able to control them at all. No. And yeah, I think it just sucks because children are involved. That's that's the part that's really dark. Well, you texted me about that too. I mean, like about his child. Yeah, as I was watching it, I was like, Cruz is terrified of Jax. Like that is not how, and I know that, he is a child with autism, so his reactions might be different, but you can see how he reacts to other adults is different
than how he reacts to Jax, where he was terrified when Jax walked in. He tried to run away and then went in the fetal position, was crying. Like, that is not normal. That's not how any child would react to seeing their parent, or should react. And yeah, it's that's where it gets dark. It's like Vanderpump Rules. It's like these young, crazy kids. And now it's like, no, they're kids. And same with like the Jesse and Michelle Lally, not to like the same extent, but like that's fucking toxic. And they have a child involved. It's like, oh my God, the cruise of it all. And also like, Brittany, she does not deserve the situation. I also think she needs to watch what she is saying in front of Cruz, because she is talking about adult things in front of Cruz repeatedly on the show. And like, even though he's nonverbal, that doesn't mean he's not taking it in and listening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and also I remember the handful of times my parents would get into fights when I was a kid. If I was in the other room, you can pick up that energy real quick, real quick. And I'm not even talking about probably even to a 10% of what Jax is probably freaking out at Brittany about. But I remember feeling that, like, kids are not dumb. We might not be able to pick up on like the intricacies of what you're fighting about, but you definitely feel when people are angry at each other when you're a kid, you know?
Totally. And I think he's picking up on more of it than, people realize. And I think that, God only knows what that child has seen. And it's so fucking scary to think about. Like, bar stools are being thrown.
Yo, God. Like, yeah. And then he tells Doute, like, oh, yeah, that's the bar. He's like proud of it. Like, maybe move the bar stools to the garage if they're broke, so you don't point out also that that's the one that you threw at your wife. Like, come on.
And what I also thought was interesting is when he was like, I'm never going to forgive you for this, for making me miss out on time with my son.
I'll never forgive you for this. Like, you're no angel either, sweetheart.
He's not mad about missing time with his son, which, by the way, it's always my son. It's never Cruz, because
my house, my son.
He just sees Cruz as his property or an extension of himself because he's a narcissist. But he also freaking is mad about missing the show, missing filming. Well, that's what he's actually mad about.
Yeah, because guys, they made him go, like, this is like a week into filming or something. This was pretty quickly in, and like, to the production's credit, I don't think they've officially said this, but they made him go. They're like, no, we will not film with you. We will not shoot. And he said on his podcast this week, somebody sent me this, In the Mind of Jax Taylor, which, by the way, he's
going on tour.
He changed his name from In the Mind of a Man, which we talked about, like, horrible name. Now it's In the Mind of Jax Taylor, which I do love him taking that note.
And he's going on tour. Did you see that?
He is going on tour. That, by the way, this is Jax's Lifetimes tour. This is Jax's Eras tour. He's gonna he comes out with different noses for each act.
Oh my God! Did you also notice? And I thought this was interesting too, when he walks on the front door, when Brittany goes, "Oh God, the golf cart's here." I was like, "Oh my God!" And he walks in and he goes, "Hey, little buddy, there he is. Hey, kiddo." And it's like he's performing. It's like a performance. And I have always noticed this about Jax, is that he mimics how he thinks real humans with emotions act.
Yes, yeah. This is what I've seen in movies and TV, so I'm going to do this now and do a crowd.
Yes.
And also because he sees the camera there as well. And I'm not saying that he's not loving when cameras are, but you know what I think you know what we're saying.
He's
but
performing.
Also the fact that he was having that dude, what's the girl, I forgot her name, but she does the account dudes in the DMs with the big old. They showed her on this week's show.
Paige,
a photo of her.
Paige.
Yeah, and the girl was walking out of Jax's house, and Brittany found a thong with the baby wipe on it. On the after show, Jax was like, no. Some girl actually handed me those at our pub crawl. That was just fun. Like, and Schwartz is there. He's like, what are you talking about? Nobody handed me panties. So he was saying a fan brought around a lot of funny panties. Oh,
shut up, Jax.
Yeah, that's a funny prop. Don't you always do that with Bravo celebrities? You just have some panties in your pocket to give to them?
Disgusting white panties.
Yeah, disgusting white panties. By the way, I did maybe suggest through an intermediary that he should sell white panties that says got it from Jax's eBay on the panties.
Oh my God, I hate you.
But by the way,
remember when Jax like accidentally gave up custody of Cruz and those like papers? I think that he meant to do that, but he didn't realize that it would go public and that everyone would know, and there was backlash. And so my conspiracy is that all along he was like, yeah, whatever. Like I that's my conspiracy, at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see, but he wasn't using a lawyer. He misspelled a lot of things. I mean, it could be so many different things, but I do think with Jax, yeah, I could believe that just like I could believe 1,000 other things. And it is funny, like how this dude, like, obviously at the end of the day, if he really got some mental health, he would actually step back and go, yeah, I have not liked Brittany. I'm not like Brittany 2 years into dating her. Like, like he knew back then when he was cheating with Faith on that voicemail where he was like, no, never want to have kids with her. Don't want to have sex. And this is like probably insanely hurtful to Brittany, but she's lived through it. But yeah, like he doesn't want to be with Brittany. So any kind of claims on her, any kind of that, like he needs to let that go quickly.
It's because he sees her and Cruz as his property.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
wife, my kids.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, he's beyond help also because I think he's a sociopath. And
but where do we go from here? He had Dr. Drew on his podcast. And I was
God.
like, Dr. Drew, man, Dr. Drew's had a wild career himself. And I will say it's always not LOL, but it is a strange thing that we all watched Celebrity Rehab back in the day. Like I watched that show every week and not realizing how dark it was, even though it was very dark. And now he is like, he'll pop up in such weird places. He gave Sandoval, like during Scandoval, he gave him a narcissist test, which it said Sandoval wasn't a narcissist. So I'm a little skeptical about Dr. Drew already, but he talked to Jax on his podcast and he did tell Jax on the test, he scored pretty high in terms of the narcissist level. And Jax was like, what? I mean, and some of those I even kind of lied on. He said, like, some of those questions I even lied on.
Oh, my God.
And Dr. Drew said, listen, I hope we can do this a year from now. And I bet we'll see a lot of positive changes. So he kind of got himself out of that. Because Jax even admitted to lying on the test to make himself look better, and it still didn't make himself look better.
I was going to say, like, I imagine that you can just lie on those, so how accurate is it? But it probably is, like, it has, like, some loopholes where it can tell when someone is lying.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine Jax, like, that if you had his, his innermost thoughts of, like, okay, what, like, just like you said, how would a normal person answer this question?
Oh, my God, the amount of times that he was, like, fake crying. Like, he was trying to, like, wipe tears, and there were no tears on this most recent episode. Like, he is such a freaking scary freak.
A couple other things. We had the triumphant return of Scheana, just her voice, to give some information that Jesse Lally's new girlfriend was maybe making out or hooked up with somebody from Baywatch. I obviously made a joke saying it was David Hasselhoff, even though a lot of people ran with that, I think. But no,
who is it, though? Because I didn't watch Baywatch.
I don't know. It's probably like David Chokachi, or like I was looking through the cast and I got bored even looking through the cast. So like, I don't care. But somebody did tell me, somebody said, that girl that he's dating actually does follow David Hasselhoff. And I will say, like I said this on the recap last week, I didn't even go to look if that was true because in my heart, I'm just going to believe it's true.
I think
I'm just going to believe it's true.
It has to be David Hasselhoff then, because it's like, who else is like the guy from Baywatch? Like,
Oh, I mean, he to me is the guy.
Hasselhoff
could have any woman he wants or man. He is that powerful of a sexual being.
Yeah.
But Scheana, do you think? Like, I love how Scheana operates, like, because I don't think it's necessarily I'm going to collect information so I can use it on the show, but she does always seem to have a piece of information you can use on these shows. And so, like, the way she manages to get in there, because I know she's paid a per episode rate, and I believe, if the article I read is to be true, that she gets paid her per episode fee. She's not a series regular, but she gets paid 2 times the amount of what the Valley cast members get now if you were to break it down episode by episode. So I remember back in the days of Vanderpump, there were seasons where she didn't get a series regular paycheck. She got paid by episode, which not a lot of people knew because it's actually insanely disrespectful to somebody like Scheana who built that show. But she always found a way to be in every episode. She was like, okay, you're going to pay me per episode? I'll be in every episode. And I find that the same, like, it'll be interesting to see what moves and inroads she makes. And to that point, Lala, because we haven't seen her yet.
Oh my God.
Even though she's in the after show.
I don't want Lala. Scheana, I can deal with. I'm a Scheana apologist for sure. Lala, I don't want her.
Did you see that thing that Lala posted online? She was like, "Get the fuck over it," about somebody saying that Lala doesn't like support women and da 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 da. And she just like wrote, "Get the fuck over it." And I'm like, "Girl,
she's the worst. She's the worst,
dude. Just admit when you're wrong about something." That was like, it just kills me about last season. She was wrong in how she handled the Ariana Tom situation, and she will never admit it.
She'll never admit it. Oh God, she's insufferable.
Anyways, moving on. Pete Davidson, he's in the news because he admitted that obviously he's getting tattoo removal right now. You know about this, Soph, right?
Yeah, but like, remember the Reformation campaign where he was blank?
Yeah.
And then he was seen at the beach with like tattoos again? Like, what's happening with that?
Okay, so they put full body makeup on him for that Reformation ad, but it's a process that's going to take a long time. So he said he was 17 when he got his first tattoo, and he like tattooed his whole body up. But now he is wanting to get all of his tattoos removed. He has over 200 tattoos, but it is a very expensive, long process. And he wants to start fresh, he said. So to remove a single tattoo generally requires between 10 and 12 sessions, which can take up to about 60 weeks to complete. Or about, yeah. So he said it's like putting your arm on a grill and burning off a layer. He estimates that it'll take another 10 years for him to finish this process. And he's already spent $200,000 and he's only 30% done.
God, see, that's why like I'm always so confused by like tattoos. And I understand that like a lot of people are very decisive and are like, I am going to love this on my body forever. But like people like me and people like Pete Davidson, clearly like, then you're just gonna have to like go through a painful process to remove it. It's just like,
I grew up in the day of like tribal tattoos and the tramp stamp, which isn't a good term to use. But you know, like there was a lot. I grew up in a time where that, you know, a lot of people regret the tattoos that they have now. And especially, and I always worry when you start getting to the face. And like I've seen those people that have their full face covered, and I'm like, aren't you going to save a little something for your 40s? Like you ran out of canvas on your body. Like there's nothing else you can do with this now.
Yeah. Oh my God. And think about how painful, like when it starts to creep up their neck. That's all I can think of. I'm like, that must have been so fucking painful.
Have you seen those ones that are like the Disney adults that get like Disney tattoos everywhere?
Oh God.
What if you start hating Disney at some point? Like you're screwed.
Exactly. It's like there's nothing I like enough where I'm like, I'm gonna want this on my body forever.
Yeah.
Not even Henry. Not even Henry's name.
Well, you say that now. Give it time.
Just kidding.
We had the premiere of all 11 episodes of Vanderpump Villa on Hulu that launched on Friday.
Speak of the devil. Speaking of tattoos.
The return of Stassi Schroeder. Season 1, I watched the entire season. It was fine. It was what it was. Second season is a little different in the fact that they brought Stassi, which is an insurance policy. So her, Beau, and their 2 kids go to Italy to, you know, the premise is a little shaky because it's done. This is all made for TV. Lisa didn't have this castle that she was already inviting people to.
She's like, you're going to be my eyes and ears.
You're going to be my eyes and ears to make sure this runs properly. We did get, like, on the first episode alone, we got Ken slowly eating his food. Like, poor Ken, I was like, wake up, bud, wake up. We're filming, bud.
Oh my God.
I would, like, they just prod Ken, and he's like, Raquel, jacuzzi, I can't believe it's on where am I? But did you watch any of this yet?
No, I told you I'm boycotting.
You've seen the clips.
I saw the clip of Stassi getting mad about the fact that Beau got his sister's name tattooed instead of hers.
So yeah, Beau's sister, I believe, lives in Italy. He has a lot of ancestors and family in Italy.
And they met later in life.
So they both got their, like, I think it was like kind of that brother, like, oh, we're really having a life moment. You know, like I thought it was nice. But Stassi on her birthday gets like a little slammered on Aperol spritzes. And it's, you know, for those people that are like, oh, we all grow up and you can really see that person's grown up, or like in this moment, you're like, oh, it's the same Stassi. And in some ways that's good because we liked Stassi, but in some ways it's scary as fuck to see that person acting the same way. Cause she's like, you won't fucking get my name on your body. You have a small S on your ring finger. And he's like, And like Bo is just like trying to play along at first, and then he's like, "Yo, you got to be careful how you talk to me." And I mean, she was drunk, and it was an electric moment for reality television. But part of me was bummed out about that moment because you're like, "Oh, she can still get like she can get buck wild."
Yeah, I mean, the dark passenger is still there. And are we missing out on Stassi being on our TV? I haven't felt like that before, but like, if she's still being psychotic and insane,
but see
then
that it encourages that behavior. So it's
yeah,
like you're then open. It's like Jax coming back to the Valley, and I'm not comparing
yeah.
Jax and Stassi because Stassi is like a billion times smarter than Jax at any way you look at it. But it does encourage you. Your life gets crazier, and this project, part of me thinks that she signed on to this because she has another docu-series with Hulu that they greenlit at the same time. And I think it was part of the contract of like, if you'll do Vanderpump Villa, we will give you your own docu-series on Hulu. So her own docu-series with all of her friends will be coming out sometime in 2025, I believe.
Oh,
but
God.
I do wonder, it's like, then are you locked into this? And then are you locked into having one or two insane moments? Even though I was told by one of the producers that was a very real moment what we see in season 2. She really did get drunk. She really had her dark passenger come out. That was not encouraged by production at all.
Did you enjoy the rest of the season otherwise?
I just watched the first episode. It came out on Thursday night. That was when I couldn't sleep for my birthday. So I was like, I'll watch an episode. And it was fine. It's hard because it's like with anything, even the Valley, like breaking in new characters is so hard because, like you out in the Valley, you had Zach and his like new 90-day fiance boyfriend. They have this storyline about him moving in with Zach, but you like sandwich it between like Jax legitimately going insane. It's hard to pay attention to the new storyline.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. So yeah, anyways, Vanderpump Villa season 2 is out right now. So go check it out if that's something that you are thinking you would be into. But I'm also curious what people think if this is going to be a success or not. Time 100, Time the magazine had a party and an issue where they celebrate like 100 of the most influential people.
Yeah.
And they listen, I've always tried to like see both sides, but they put Blake Lively. They picked Blake Lively as one of the top 100 people of the year. And I guess in a sense you could like go, yeah, I guess, in a certain way, she is one of the top 100 stories of the year, but her and Ryan Reynolds came to this party and she gave a speech and she said in the speech of like, listen, I could speak a lot about like women and what we have to go through in this, but she wanted to actually speak a story about her mom, an important story. But it was just like, why? It's wild. Like, it's like some of us, we would never show our faces again,
Yeah.
even if you were 100% in the right, you'd be like, I don't need this headache right now. And I do know her movie, A Simple Favor 2, the sequel comes out this week on Amazon Prime, but it's still hard because I'm like, damn, I don't know if that's the move to be at like at the top 100 people.
Yeah. Also, like, it's just like, where was this energy and seriousness and gravitas during the It Ends With Us promotional tour? Because we were just getting, fun and flirty vibes about a movie that has to do with domestic violence and sexual assault. And that's kind of why people were upset with her to begin with. So that, like, and I'm glad she spoke out, for sexual abuse survivors and her mom, and great. But again, it's like, I don't know. It just didn't really like meet the moment. And I think that Ryan Reynolds, you can tell that I think that they're trying to go through the motions and trying to act like everything, because they're like, if we act like everything is normal, then like people are going to perceive us as still like that A-list, like untouchable.
But even Ryan looks like he's not feeling it.
Oh my God,
he's not
looks
feeling
like
it.
He's aged 15 years.
How would this not age you? How would this intensity, even if you're used to celebrity, how would this not age you? And by the way, if Time really wanted to be fair, and what would have been funny as hell is if they had if they had Blake and Justin there. Like, they should have had Justin at the same party. Because if you're going to give it to Blake, you got to give it to Justin as well. Because we're not giving it to Blake for, like, the important work she did with DV survivors. Like, why not just call a spade and say, we're inviting both of them to the party, and they're both going to be in this issue, and we can't wait to see the trial next year.
Oh, my God. I wonder if they have, like, if there's, like, a restraining order or anything that restricts them from being in the same room. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
actually. Restraining order, full custody, divorce.
Restraining order, Jax. This is that thong. I want to take the thong too and the baby wipes.
It was on my iPad.
Jack's like, you know what it's like. You know what it is, fellas. When you go into your woman's iPad, you just got to go find it and you just start scrolling and looking for shit. I love that Jack. Like, that's not even his iPad. He's like, we were going to get back together.
It's
yeah,
Cruz's
so anyways,
iPad. It's Cruz's iPad.
By the way, I hate to bring this up, but did you hear this announcement from Podcast One?
What?
Cruz has his own podcast starting next week. Cruz's Corner. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, Cruz's Corner. Yeah. First guest, Tom Sandoval. He's coming right out of the gate. I don't even. Yes, first guest, Cruz Couchy's Corner. That's the podcast.
Oh my God, one day, it's kind of like my like holy grail, like celebrity interview. Like someone asked us when we did a Q&A recently on the Snarkbait Instagram, we were like, it was like, who is your dream celebrity interview where they would leave nothing on the table? And I said, Rob Kardashian. I think after Rob Kardashian, it would be Cruz Couchy.
Well, I was talking about this, I think, on Friday or Thursday's episode in regards to somebody was like, oh, you need to interview more Valley cast members. And I just, like, I understand that desire. And maybe 3 years ago, but if I had an interview with Jax, he's not going to tell me anything. Like, you're not going to get the kind of open, honest interview that would actually be entertaining to listen to. You're going to get the
same answers.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, it's sometimes going through the motions as I get further into this, where you're just like, I know the interview I'm going to get, and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes you're like, okay, I get to talk to Phaedra, but I have to talk about like this product she's pushing. Like, okay, the product's all right, but at least I get to talk to Phaedra. That's something fun for me. How can I try to make it fun a little bit for the audience? But other than that, you're very aware. So like, I would never have Jax on because first off, I just don't think that would be good, but like, he's just not going to tell you anything that he hasn't said 1,000 times before. It's going to be like kind of whitewashed. I could already tell you exactly what he's going to say.
Right.
If anybody, like any of that group, I was like, maybe Schwartz, maybe Jen. I mean, like there are, I just don't know. It's diminishing returns when you do that, I think.
Totally.
I don't know. So who was you said you wanted to?
Rob Kardashian.
Yeah.
Rob Kardashian.
He came out in that Easter picture last week.
Yeah, except he like looked photoshopped in, honestly.
Well,
but
they always treat him like Bigfoot. They always treat him like he's like a
he
sighting of
literally
Bigfoot.
Is.
Like,
no,
but everybody's like,
is.
good for you, Rob. I'm like, good for you. You fucking are in a photo. Good for you.
No, like there are so many deep, dark secrets, especially like
the Lamar stuff.
Yeah, like we Snarkbait just recorded an episode that's coming out later about Brittany Murphy.
Ooh.
And all I'll say is that there's a tangled web in Hollywood that Harley Pasternak, whatever his name is, Pasternak.
The celebrity personal trainer.
Yep. Kanye. Diddy. Ashton Kutcher. The Kardashians are in there as well. It's like there is there are thugs in Hollywood. Is like the moral of the story. Is that there are people that you do not want to fuck with. And I think that Harley Pasternak is honestly like a Hollywood, like, I think that he's like a fixer. And I would not be surprised if you told me that the Kardashians have like covered up murders before. Like, I would believe you. They're so scary.
Okay. And Sophie lives in New York. I live in Los Angeles. I just want to be very clear where Sophie lives. If anybody's looking for Sophie,
that's what I said when we were recording. I was like, somebody's going to take me out.
And also, I'll even go a step further. Snarkbait's the pod you really want to go after. That's what I'm going to say right here, because I'm pretty easy peasy. I make my stupid jokes, very self-deprecating. I'm safe. But Sophie, this one, no. I mean, I know Harley Pasternak.
If something happens to me, you guys, you know who did it. It was Harley Pasternak.
You know, and by the way, if something happens to me, it's probably Jax. You know, like, go to him first. Show me one guy that wouldn't kill Ryan Bailey after he said what he said. Show me one guy. Everybody's like, oh, on this, Jax actually makes a lot of sense.
Want to hear something crazy, though? And again, we get more into this on an episode of Snarkbait. The fact that Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Jones, Kim Jones and Brittany Murphy were both young women who quote unquote died of pneumonia. According to ChatGPT, the odds of two young women in the same extended circle dying of pneumonia at their ages.
You mean Kim Porter?
Kim Porter.
Oh, yeah, I was like Kim. I was like, who's Kim Jones?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Kim Porter.
Yeah,
Kim Porter. I don't know why I said Kim Jones.
Yeah.
Kim Porter and Brittany Murphy. The odds of both of them dying of pneumonia, 1 in 100 million.
It is pretty insane. Well, I'll go even one deeper. This weekend, my birthday, hell of a weekend. This Virginia, how do you say her last name?
Giuffre? Yeah.
Giuffre, the one that turned on Epstein and the prince and all of this stuff. She took her own life, allegedly, on Friday. But it's really weird because like 2 weeks ago, she said she was in this horrible car accident and was going to die. And then she backtracked and said, oh, she didn't mean to post that. And then she took her own life on Friday. What is going on? Like that to me, and this is not like, but that to me is suspicious. She always said, I would never hurt myself. Just know that. And then it's like, oh, she's dead. Just like Epstein killed himself in prison. Like these kind of deaths, whether it be Brittany Murphy or Kim Porter, there is a level of mysteriousness around it. And I'm sorry, the pneumonia thing, when you are a 40-year-old woman, it's really hard sometimes to believe, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so scary to think about. I have chills. And also, like, I want to know what happened in Chloe and Lamar's house.
Oh, well, I mean, the rumors always were that Rob and Lamar were like doing drugs together, allegedly. That was part of it.
Yeah, but like, what drugs? Why
freebasing, freebasing.
What's freebasing?
Like CRACK. And like,
since when is it called freebasing? I've never heard that.
You haven't?
Is that what like you and your friends call it?
Yeah, well, me and my deadhead friends.
Yeah, we're gonna freebase later, bro. If you want to come through.
Oh wow! I just really showed my age by the word freebasing.
Freebasing. I was like, Freemasons?
You know, the Freemasons, bro. They party like rock stars. Speaking of rock stars, we are on day 3. This is Sunday. Stagecoach, which happens on the same festival grounds as Coachella. It's another opportunity for influencers to really make their mark. And we had Zach Bryan performing on Friday night. Lana Del Rey came out and during a song said she made out with Morgan Wallen. Jelly Roll played last night, which, by the way, Jelly Roll made a very stunning admission on the Jennifer Hudson show a couple weeks ago. I kept meaning to tell you this. He admitted to one time shitting his pants on stage.
Oh,
wow. Would you ever get to like Jelly Roll seems like a really nice guy, not my type of music. But like some things like you just don't need to. It's like with Kanye. Like some things you're like, that's an inside thought. That's for you.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes really embarrassing things that happen do make funny stories.
Yeah, but like.
And like, you know what? I think that there's something destigmatizing about shitting yourself on stage. It's like if
you're an idiot. So
you're not alone.
Wait. I feel like you've legitimately had to have shit yourself. For you to be going this pro Jelly Roll right now is like, this means you've shit yourself on stage. It has to.
Honestly, I would be honest if I had. I can't think of a time that I've shit myself, period. But like, if I would not be I would tell you guys.
Wait. Feel like the accusations are flying right now. No, but like, by the way, okay, say you go to a Snarkbait live show. You're so nervous. And then your whole audience sees you, because Jelly Roll said the whole audience saw it, and the audience kind of turned. Audience turned against him, kind of.
If they saw it, then like you can't keep it a secret. You have to just own it. That's the only thing you can do.
You have to bask in it. You have
you have
lean
to own
into it.
Yeah, lean in.
Shit pants Sophie.
Let them. Let them, Mel Robbins.
That's what if they did make Paige come instead of like checking out on Friday of Summer House? She was like, my nerves got to me. They made her come and she shits the bed. Like she was that nervous. Like Paige just couldn't get out of the bathroom. And she's like, I couldn't.
You know that happened at Gwyneth Paltrow's house.
Yes,
did you
that
hear
guy
about
last
that?
summer. Last summer,
Yeah.
it was like we I think we even talked about it because this dude.
I think we did. It was a rumor.
It was
that
this
Derek
rumor going around the
Blasberg,
Hamptons.
allegedly. Derek Blasberg, who's like a New York socialite, like just hanger on of celebrities, allegedly shat Gwyneth Paltrow's bed.
Yeah, allegedly shat. Yeah, and it went. And what I loved about it is that it went around like big circles, like Larry David, Steven Spielberg. Like it said all like the Hamptons enclave were all talking about this incident.
In that scenario, I would probably like you would just not see me again.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like. I was a bedwetter when I was a kid, but I never shat the bed. And I've never shat in public.
I think there's a big difference of, oh my God, I had nerves. I shit myself on stage. It happens. I'm going to own it and I'm going to laugh at myself versus everyone knows when you were like probably from doing too much blow or something, shat yourself in an A-list celebrity's bed in her Hamptons home. And of all people, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Like that's the one. It's Gwyneth Paltrow. You do not want to shit in her bed.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gwyneth Paltrow, as we wind down here, there was a great Gwyneth Paltrow quote this week. Did you see this? Is that she is now reintroducing carbs and cheese into her diet after years of following a strict paleo plan. So this was actually this was everywhere this weekend. CNN, speaking on the Goop podcast, the 52-year-old actress and founder of lifestyle brand Group said longer-term inflammation and health stuff was the reason she became paleo in the first place. But now she is starting to reintroduce cheese and carbs. So it is going to be a huge summer for Gwyneth. Maybe she's going to be the one shitting in her own bed this summer.
Oh my God, I'm so happy for her.
Can you imagine that made like headline news everywhere? Like if I fucking like pig out on carbs, like I just hear it in my mind, like just beating myself up.
No, like next time you do, let me know. I'll alert the media.
Yeah, please. Ryan's on too many carbs again. Okay, what are we watching this week? What do you recommend? What have you watched this week? What's going on?
I have binged the new season of You.
Was it good? This is the final season, right?
Yes, final season. I think it ended. I'm not going to spoil it, but I was happy with how this final season went. I think that it's worth the watch, and I love that show. I hear
this season's really funny too.
It's good. It's good. His fuck ass Cage.
It's funny. Sorry. Also, I feel so dumb. Last week we were talking about Black Mirror, and I had not seen the USS Callister episode yet. And I said, I wish like they would do a Housewives-centric episode. And then the fucking USS Callister episode literally had a recurring joke about Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah, it did.
Episode.
I actually forgot about that. But yeah, they were watching Real Housewives of Atlanta on like their spaceship.
I watched this kid-fluencing docuseries on Netflix this week.
Oh, yeah.
So I talked about that earlier in the week, but if you're looking for something to completely horrify you, also do not let your kids be influencers. Don't even, like, I'm so, like, you know what it is? So, like, as we end here, I hate to be negative, but you know what I love about you, Sophie, is that if I read something that you write or if you talk on here, it's always your honest thoughts. I'm so tired of bullshit linear thinking in terms of like, you can tell it's just like so kiss-assy that it's like, you don't like, I don't even like, it's like every show you love, you have no critiques over everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you go online, influencers are one thing, that's a separate level of annoying, but then there's another of just like, dude, HBO is not going to sleep with you. Like, chill out.
Oh, it's like the people that are scared to criticize anything or anyone because they like don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, come on. Like,
I don't give a fuck. I literally do not give a fuck.
You know, it's like, I will say, I always try to find one positive thing about something, or if I talk about it, I want to try one positive. Yeah. But I think you guys know there's so many things I legitimately hate. And if I hate something, I don't post about it. And now I think that's the thing that I'm spending more time offline because it's just like, oh, this is like, who are you trying? You're not even trying to like share anything real with the audience. You're trying to impress the people that market these things.
Right.
You know, you're literally trying to get in with them. You're not trying to share anything with your actual audience.
Oh my God.
You're not leading them in any sort of good direction.
Totally.
Sorry. Yeah, and on the influencers thing. Could you imagine how I'm friends with a couple influencers now, and I was with one a couple weekends ago in Vegas, and like the fact they have to film everything all the time.
Oh my God,
and then edit it together.
Everything has to be content. Oh my God, it seems so exhausting. And also, I've noticed a lot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the algorithm has changed on Instagram, but I've noticed so many influencers recently like begging their followers for engagement on their ads.
Or then shit like, oh, Instagram stanky ass engagement. I'm like, who cares? If I put out something, it's because I want to put out something, you know?
Right. Well, I get it. Like, I feel like it'll be on the ads that they do, and then the brands will maybe not want to work with them if they have low engagement. But it's like, maybe make better content.
But also maybe don't plan on like this being your entire life.
Yeah.
You know, like when I got into this, I didn't plan on like making a living off of podcasting.
It seems so, it's being an influencer. Oh my God. It seems so fucking stressful. It does.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like it feels stressful. And then it's like, I already beat myself up enough. I would hate if I like was doing like brand trips and then like people didn't like the content I was posting. Like that seems like so stressful, or trying to act like you're happy all the time. Or on the flip side, being such a fucking mess that you have to put your mess online as well.
Yeah. You can never just like take time off from posting because that's your livelihood.
Yeah. Okay. So you watch you like that. Anything you're looking forward to this week?
I still haven't seen Baby Girl, but I saw that it's streaming now. So
yeah,
I'm definitely
Baby Girl, Nicole Kidman, very horny movie.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. Otherwise,
and then so Snarkbait this week. You said, well, you have an episode coming
on
up
Katy
about
Perry
this
on Thursday.
So Katy Perry, we got Katy Perry on Thursday. So we want to go support that. We want to go follow, support, rank, review, and we don't need any nastiness. Stop with the nastiness for everybody. Well, I say that, and then I just made fun of influencers and stuff. So no, I don't know. Be however you want to be.
Yeah, I guess just be nice to us.
Yeah, be nice to us mainly. But anyways, I'm so out of it. So sorry if this was a subpar episode, but I had fun. So I hope you guys had fun too. And we'll talk to you next week, Soph.
Bye.
Bye.